So, here we are back for the second match of this best out of 3, taken from yesterday's day 2 of Dallas MLG, and once again a match between the blue Protoss, Nazgul from Team Liquid, one of Team Liquid founders, and an old Brood veteran. He was actually one of the first Europeans to head into Korea and try his luck as a Brood professional gamer there, long time ago. And he's now playing Protoss here on Starcraft 2. And he's facing against another old Brood veteran, IdrA, now a member from Team Evil Geniuses, a very good Zerg player in my modest opinion. I know that he has a lot of haters, also a lot of fans, and well, even if you dislike him because of his manners and all his BM and all of that, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I actually enjoy watching his matches, especially when he's able to take Zerg to the next level. So much respect for IdrA, and let's see what comes out of this face-off, because like I said, this is the second match out of a best out of 3, and I'm gonna spoil it for whoever didn't watch the first match. Well, you should actually watch the first match before you watch the second one, obviously. And at the moment, Nazgul just leading the way. He was able to dominate IdrA on the first match with some beautiful blink micro there on his stalkers, just able to contain the roach invasion and just advancing and applying the pressure into IdrA, and then beautiful micro making sure that his stalkers would be remaining alive while poking and grinding down that big roach squadron that IdrA was trying to assemble, and he actually took the win out of IdrA's hands. So now IdrA has to do something about it on this map. This is obviously a map that it was chosen by IdrA. We're here on Scrap Station, a map that has the tendency to favor Zerg players. Because of the really long rush distance, it tends to favor the fact that you can just fast expand, build your expo, and still be able to defend it and contain any early pressure if you're actually able to do it properly and do it right and fast enough. So IdrA knows about that. He picked this map, already went down for the early expo there, getting the hatchery up, and he's going to be working out of 2 bases pretty soon, with 2 hatcheries producing a lot more units than 1, obviously, and getting his econ game stable. Meanwhile, here on Nazgul's side, he got a gateway, picked up the first gas already, and now getting the second one, and there's a cybernetics core going down. Notice that he still didn't got a single zealot out, so he might be considering going for some kind of similar approach to what he did on the first match, which is to just invest on stalkers, and seems like he's going to produce the first one, even chrono boosting it. Interesting. But like I was saying, maybe he's just so comfortable playing with stalkers and all that microing that he showed on the first match that he's just gonna go for more stalkers, mass them up, and just feel confident about it, I would say. Meanwhile, this Overlord already crossed all over the base, spotted what else was going on Nazgul's base. Well, there's actually not much going on. Now he's trying to get the rest of his build ready, getting another gateway there, second gateway, and almost finishing off the wall off. Also keep in mind that he didn't send a single probe to check out and scout the bases from IdrA, so he's a bit in the dark at the moment about what's going on IdrA's bases. As you guys can see, he didn't spot a single thing. And he might be considering to do something similar to what he did on the first match, because if you notice, he sent a couple of stalkers ahead to just take a look and come back, and seems like that's going to be exactly what he's going to do this time. IdrA has been spreading his Zerglings and his Overlords all over the map. He has map control at the moment. Nazgul shoving away that little Zergling, but meanwhile IdrA taking his time to pass with 1 Zergling, and I think he's going to try to run into Nazgul's base, but Nazgul answering back brilliantly and instantly placing a pylon there, so this Zergling won't be able to enter the base and spot any of what's going on. All those buildings getting built on that side, he wasn't able to spot any of those, and it's a Twilight Council once again, another gateway and another one. So he's going to be working out of 4 gateways with the Twilight Council already boosting the blink. So it seems a fairly identical build to the one that he had on the first match. We're gonna have mass blink stalkers once again, and let's see how good is Nazgul able to control them this time. Overlord here keeping tabs on everything that moves and passes on this trait there, so he spotted those 2. Nazgul pulling back, seems like he's not very worried about applying early pressure into IdrA. That might be risky, because IdrA meanwhile is trying to get his economy pumping, already leading on the harvest account and the income, and getting his lair already finished. So, and here comes a very effective unit against gateway units, against Protoss gateway units, which is the IdrA. IdrA then going down. IdrA knows what he's doing this time. He's not going to commit the same mistakes he did before. Already had plenty of Zerglings with Zergling speed. And meanwhile, Nazgul has been messing up his Stalkers. Blink finished and ready to blink his ass off completely. Even took his time to place a pylon on this corner so he can just port forward a lot of units instantly to this location instead of having to bringing them all the way back from his base. And seems like he's going to prepare an advance of first push with IdrA waiting for him to cross. I think he's going to try to apply some pressure with all these Zerglings from the back, maybe to try to get him by surprise. Another pylon there right on the front, trying to just reinforce the army if Nazgul is able to succeed on this advance. And here he comes, a single spine crawler trying to hold off against this big concave of Stalkers. Not possible. And now the IdrA is finally out. They're very effective against gateway units, keep that in mind. And oh, Nazgul just advancing straight into those rocks, and now he's just completely cornered there with all the IdrA slowly poking at those Stalkers. And look at how fast those IdrA chew through that big Stalker army. Basically over. Oh, this was not good. More reinforcements coming from Nazgul, but once again the IdrA are going to shove them away and finish off this front pylon. So no more early and fast reinforcements right there on top of IdrA's natural expo. Meanwhile, he's reinforcing with IdrA, something that he didn't do on the first match. Keep that in mind. He didn't have time, actually. He was getting his lair up when he just got completely pushed in and break. And there it is, destroying the rocks this time. Think that IdrA might be considering some kind of advance into this corridor and just try to catch Nazgul by surprise. Here comes Nazgul another time, once again, to try to force and break into IdrA's defenses with a small group of Stalkers this time. Not enough. He's sending more reinforcements from the back while IdrA takes care of the rest of the destructible rocks. Seems like that IdrA is going to be cornered this time. Nazgul advancing with the Stalkers there. These rocks meanwhile are almost finished and destroyed, and now we're going to have another big face-off here on the corridor. And these IdrAs don't have the increased range. It's still getting finished, trying to get a proper line there to shoot down all of these Stalkers. But Nazgul pulling back before they got destroyed, and now IdrA advancing, all the rocks destroyed, crossing all the way through that corridor, way into the base. Oh, this is not good. The wall-off is complete there, so those Zerglings will have to spend a while to just poke at it properly. And here he comes. I think the IdrAs are gonna try to help out. IdrA's destroying that pylon there, and now a nice concave around all of those Stalkers, trying to be microed for the back, but the DPS from the IdrAs are just so effective, and more reinforcements from IdrA coming from the back, a lot of Zerglings with more IdrAs, and just chewed through all of Nazgul's forces. GG! Whoa, those IdrAs were so effective against these Stalkers. They just got completely razed. And there it is. We have a tie now, 1-1. Everything will be decided on the final match, so stay tuned and see you all later.